damage, we've got to fix it. Give up that time. You join? Is that, yeah. Huh? Jeez. Well, wait. What are you doing? I'm not gonna sit here and help you if you're gonna on the phone. Show me! Where's the website? This one? Okay, Marcus! We're just going through it! This thing.
Another one, Marcus.
What? What were the planes? Like, whatever gets you in the session, mate. Are you choosing yourself as a driver? What? Why are you doing it that way? Nothing. I don't know how to do it that way, so if what?
Now you like to see. Now you settle down, mate. I'm tired. I'm not in the mood for your shit. Neither am I.
Let me try that again. Well, hello. Saving fuel sucks, man. I can't save fuel.
What do you need to save fuel for?
Make 12 laps. Make the strat work.
Is it cold conditions?
30 degrees. I just did a 22.7 fuel saving.
22.7.
Oh, right, lap time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's wrong? That's fast.
Yes.
Your saving should be easy here because there's so many straights. All you gotta do is just pick a couple that you lift at the end of.
Couple. All of them. So I mean, I'm lifting at 2 chicanes on Muslan, lifting into Indianapolis, all 3, sorry, braking of the, is it Muslan? Mulsanne, all 3 of those, Indianapolis.
When you say you lift, how long are you off the throttle before, like, coasting?
Oh, the phone. Well, it depends, man. How long are you off?
I was trying to pure save. Normally 1 to 2 seconds.
So, for example, because it's nice and easy, as an actual marker, the second chicane at the 200 board.
Yeah, 100 meters is usually a good, like,
It's nice and easy to visualize.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm just in the push curves here. Okay, 0 saving on that lap.
You near the end of the stint?
Yeah. That was not as good as I was hoping. It's only a 22.2.
Just means that when you're saving, you're being efficient.
Yeah, I got an optimal of 21.9 this session. I could get all of them right. I've got to save now.
How does the car feel?
Well, I guess pretty solid. It still pushes like early, but I think I've sort of programmed that into my brain now. Oh, that was the wrong marker. I just saved for 200 meters then. Oh, let's go! Don't hit the wall, don't hit the wall.
Did you hit the wall?
No, I did not. Joining.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Track.
I see you.
Do you remember what our fuel target is for 12 laps?
No, I was going to ask because I found a dash. Oh, flag. Found a dash page that has a fuel number on it. I was just going to ask you what it was to see how accurate it is, because I think it's giving me an average rather than a last lap, but I'm not sure. So I've been doing 7.2 apparently, and that push lap I did 7.4 apparently. All that up my
accurate. I mean, if it was an average, it wouldn't suddenly jump up that much if you did one push lap.
Well, I'd like to think I used on my push lap more than 0.2 of a litre extra.
No, that's... Well, I think the highest usage I've seen is about 7.5.
Alright.
And in hot conditions, definitely closer to like 7.1, 7.2.
Well, that was a 7 point, back to 7.2 again. So maybe this last lap.
I'm pretty sure 7.2 is safe. I'm not sure what the actual threshold is, though.
It only concerns me because I'm 0.0 across the line.
Right. Maybe 7.2 is like the threshold.
Although, saying that, I did go for, like, I start the outlap's normal. First flying is a push lap, and then I go into fuel save mode. So I think I'm putting myself behind the 8 ball. So we got 1.8 down Mulsanne.
It's a long lap, so 0.1 is a fair bit.
Ooh. Routes are a bit sketchy now. Right, this should be my last flight. Hopefully Genesis. Yeah, it does work.
Hey.
If there's not too many special events next season, I wouldn't mind having a crack at a couple of ringmeisters.
Yeah.
Looks okay. I would have liked to have done a couple this. Just ended up not working out time-wise.
I thought that's your least favourite track ever.
Oh, it's growing on me.
Some of the cars are actually quite fun. The Aston Martin this week was a barrel of fun. It's not as hard as the Formula 4, but it's not as simple as a GT3 is.
We had a round there with the GT4 season that we did, Sean. And I got outsmarted. A guy he pulled over at the second carousel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't realise what it was until I drove past him and went, oh, I know what that car's doing. But, yeah. Live and learn.
So I remember seeing like a clip of this, I think it was Verstappen at a Daytona race where it was like the bus stop and like basically whoever went through the bus stop first would lose because the car behind would draft around the thing. And it was like a game of chicken with Max Verstappen and whoever it was. And they were both slowing down, and there was just a point where Max just floored it, and the jump he got was just enough to get through the bus stop and win. And I had like that exact same scenario with someone, I think different track. I can't remember where it was, but we were literally doing exactly that. We were both lifting and waiting to see who was going to go for it. And then I feel like I beat him. I think I did what Max did, and like I just floored it right at the right moment, but I don't remember exactly where it was, so I could be misremembering.
No, I reckon that.
But it was just, I remember in the situation, like literally just coasting and slowing down. It's like, it's so bizarre being in a race and knowing that like your best shot to win is to not keep your foot on the throttle.
Like a safety car restart, you really got to be on the ball and get ready to... Oh.
Yeah. So I had a chuckle when I got the Discord message. Don't take this the wrong way, but it is a nightmare to sort out the schedule.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Individual requirements.
Oh, I would not do it. And it's just, it was...
I thought yours was good work.
It's taken,
based off mine.
it's taken hours, but I still didn't want to... Like, there was, I think, a gap between someone, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't give everybody a on-off, on-off, on-off. There was someone who got an on, off, 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 on, or something. Something you had to give somewhere. You couldn't appease all of the requests. And I imagine doing it for realsies every week for work-wise. Can't do this, and I need this.
Scheduling, yeah.
Oh, it's a tough gig.
Yeah, it's funny. Mates used to do. Who used to work at Macca's, so they always complained about their rosters. And then one of my mates, he actually got promoted was doing the rosters, and I'll never forget. He said, "No, I'm not throwing in that down."
Because you do try and help and do the right thing by everybody, but you can't. You cannot please
Yeah,
everyone.
he ended up doing okay because in the end he just decided he's just putting the rosters out there, and those that could make it could make it. Those that couldn't were filling up. That they were going to fill out places for others, right? So then it's just not about individuals anymore. It's just
Blocks.
There's exactly.
I thought about doing that too. Like just put colours. Don't look at the name. Just colours and work it out that way. But I think that's when I ended up having Marcus like finishing the race or the second last thing. Like as much as it looks neater and fulfills the whole on off, it doesn't really fulfill what we were trying to do elsewhere. I thought about even just starting the race so we could almost have two shifts. Like Jacob and I sort of start on off, so Sean didn't have to start and then not come back for another 20 hours or something. But all those permutations with the brain and way too hard.
One thing I was thinking though was like with if Dennis and I had more driving, especially if Jake and Marcus weren't joining, it's like you have to spread it over the 2 days, otherwise it's like a shitload of driving all in one day. It's like I'd prefer to start the race, do a few stints, go to bed, wake up the next morning, and then it's a new day. It's like I haven't just done 4 hours of driving. So for doing a lot of driving, I think it works to like have 2 shifts, I guess. But I think what you proposed looks good to me. Like I'm happy to lock it in if everyone's happy. But
even if it's a discussion starter, there we go. I made my 12.
I think we've managed to give everyone like enough of a sleep at night, I think. Assuming JB gets to bed early.
And that was the thing too, is making sure someone who was going to get up early didn't get a 10 o'clock or 11 p.m. stint and then go, okay, enjoy your 3 hours sleep.
I think that's one of the trickiest things to do, and so I think that works all right.
I'm going to have to sit with Marcus and take him through the track if he's in the mood for that. No. I noticed that me, JB, and now Marcus, and even Jacob, was every time they got here, that initial first practice stint or two, and it's just rage everywhere. Marcus is at that point, he's in rage mode. We all been there.
Yeah, I found the first 1 or 2 sessions of this was like, fuck, this is hard. And now it's sort of, got the muscle memory and I can sort of just do the laps now, but yeah, those first sessions were rough. Dennis, do you know what the fuel target is for 12 laps? Off the top of your head.
It was pretty low. It was under 7 liters per lap. Or no, 12.
No, that was for
normal,
13. Yeah, 12 is normal.
Yeah, so it's 7.39, somewhere in there.
Okay. I think I'm right on the limit. I'll need to save a bit. This is Warwick was saying he was struggling. I think based on those numbers, you probably have you finished this thing yet?
Yeah, I crossed the line. I lost. I ran out of fuel turn 1.
Okay, so you didn't pull into the pits, but that would have been plenty to make it to the pit box.
No way, man. I was on PB. I wasn't pulling in. No chance.
Been there, done that.
There is like no draft effect. I could not pull up to you, Dennis.
At all?
Nah. Like I'm just sitting in the draft and there's no gain.
Is it that you're on the rev limiter, or?
No, it's just like there is a little bit. It's not nothing, but it's minuscule. It's like 1/10 along that whole straight bit there. It's like there's no way that I could exit. I basically have to exit the corner, just about touching your bumper, to be able to actually get alongside you.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult when we're starting to lap cars that have had repair sort of stuff.
And refuse to acknowledge that they're a lap down.
Yeah, exactly. And they're always the same guys, right? Because they're the ones that were
Yes.
aggressive at the start that caught
Yeah.
themselves in that situation in the first place. And then it's someone else's fault, obviously.
Correct.
Actually, this is perfect, Sean. I'm kind of interested to see how you do a lap. So I'll try to hang with you as long as I can.
Cool, I've got 2 or 3, I guess, under my belt, so I'm going to be a little bit quicker.
Oh, that aero wash actually is real.
You're also on your outlap. But yeah, I think it is. I think it's very much something you'll have to think about if you're behind someone.
Yeah, just an empty in that whole sector. Lost 2 to you there. I think I'm in this happy deploy mode at the moment still. What's your brake marker for the second chicane?
The 100.
Yep. Apparently these conditions are pretty damn good.
Yes.
This is a low usage track as well, so that's so weird. Because we had moderate brake yesterday. Moderate on this
Yeah.
car doesn't seem good.
And it's 1 PM, but it's just a cool track. But it's not that cool. Like I said, it's like 30 degrees.
Yeah, it's 31.
Like, it must just be temperature. But the speed and the grip you have varies dramatically for like every degree. fuel usage though. I need to cut it back a bit. You get a slowdown or a mistake or something.
I don't know what happened at the end of the sector. It was quite slow end of the sector, but the first sector there I ran wide, turn 1.
Oh yeah.
Well, technically turn 2, I guess, but yeah. That right-hander really is a nothing corner.
Oh, you hit the inside curb. Yeah. I
Like
did
I
that.
was trying to like see as much as I could cut
Yeah, I did that.
without trying to like.
I did that on my first lap out, I think.
Look how close I get to the wall.
Right, so that was yours. I will go and find mine now.
Doesn't pay to brake later. So I tried a fraction later and it just locked the rears on me.
I know the brake balance is a bit weird where, well I guess it's just based on aero and stuff, but early on in the braking zone at high speed, the rears will lock, but late on, once the speed's gone, the fronts will lock. I think really the way you come off the brake is just really important in this car. Feels like it's even trickier than the Formula 1 car.
Yeah, I think so. And it probably doesn't help that there's a tiny bit of steering angle as well at those points.
Where was it?
Before
The last place you looked.
before Pedro Rouge.
On the left.
Yes.
Oh, Marcus, you shit. I went to go around your cone that you left in the middle of the track. I got a fucking slowdown. And it was just taking a slightly wider entry, like it was such a fucking retarded slowdown zone. Yeah, well, you're a brown, so that makes you a slow learner. be able to hit that than the last few laps. It's just the one I chose to push. Yeah, good run.
That's 3 minutes. Wasted.
That's not. It's all learning.
I was looking up the road. I'm like, oh, he's not here yet. And just as I got onto the track, I saw you come around. Like, fuck, get out of the way.
I was wondering if it's all going on. I've just seen it. It's a It's actually. Is that
Back up in.
Yeah, the braking side. I'm gonna delete my lap for cutting the track when I've already lost 6/10.
Yeah, but you go outside the track limits.
Did I hit
You
Ben then?
undeleted.
Yeah, do I take out Ben or did he just freak out going too wide?
No, he went into the pits.
No, he just pitted.
But, yeah.
Alright, good lad.
Okay, apparently I'm slow. That's fine as I go. Where did you catch me, Sean?
I think you can cut more on the... Shit, there's a fucking loud car outside. You can cut more of the first of the last two chicanes. Like, there's a little thing that sticks up in at the apex, but you can actually just drive through it. And then just I think in the Porsche curves, I was a little bit quicker. But I'm also on a lot lower fuel than you.
And that makes a huge difference.
I clipped the grass, went miles over the off-track limit. Slowed in, it seems.
I'm finding as the fuel comes off, the rear starts to get a bit light in the braking zones, like for the chicanes. I've got to stop sort of using the brakes to rotate the car as much.
I got you phases at the end of them time. I was using the brakes to rotate it, and then all of a sudden it got to that point, and then rotated it, come back the next lap, rotated it. It's like, I've gotta not do that.
I've got one more flyer after this one.
No.
You're over a second off your time.
Yeah, you fucking do a quick lap and that second will just melt away like it's nothing.
Every lap's a push lap.
No way you're saving and pushing.
Nah, I've had to save a bit, but I think I've only done like 4 or 5 save laps.
Yeah, I don't think you have to
should
do
be
it too often.
Well, I didn't think so either until I started the session and realised that I suck and needed to basically save every lap. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It definitely gets a bit rotatey towards the end of the stint.
Why is it up there? There it is.
Push lap was almost too much push. Not enough lap.
My okay with that?
I'm still going though.
This lap or the previous lap?
This lap.
This is your last push lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't make a mistake. It'll go green. It's like, oh, there's just time on the table.
Yeah. There's a point with this car when I'm trying to like drive a quali style lap where I feel like every time I hit the brakes it's too late and then I make the corner and it's just like, God, there's so much time on the brakes.
But so easy to trip that pinch.
I overshoot, but
Yeah, well, I do that. But I creep up on it and go, oh shit, I stuck it. And then all of a sudden you're up, and then you pinch those rears, and around she goes, and go right back to where I was, taking it easy. Here he goes. There he goes. Alright, that's it. We're on. You probably went up to put attack mode as well.
No. But I was driving all on the table. It was a quali lap at the end of the stint.
Have I got enough time?
Awesome. Fuel usage wasn't that high though. Just efficient. A few little mistakes though. It could have been a 3-minute 20 instead of a 21.
I'm not consistent enough.
Yeah, I hit the brakes for the hairpin at the end of the Mulsanne and thought like the entire braking zone, I was like, I fucked it. And it's like, oh shit, I made it.
That's exactly what I do. I'm up, I got green, and I go in there, and I just a meter. Like nothing. Don't be greedy. Just a meter.
Yeah.
Big brake. The front's just drag the whole way. Like fuck.
I was fighting that like mental reaction instinct to stand on the brake a bit harder. It's like, not just, I'm already at maximum, just hold it there. If I don't make the corner, I don't make the corner. Like, this is it. I can't adjust to do any better. I've already committed. It's so hard to like not just push that a little bit harder on the brake.
You should have pushed harder on the brake though, I think. You probably would have gone faster.
And I get the same thing in Indy as well. Like when I'm doing like a quality style lap and I try and really send it into Indy, you just think, I've missed the corner by a mile as soon as you hit the brakes. But I think the banked corner and a bit of like this car just braking like crazy when you get it right really throws me off anyway. Like I think I've missed the corner and then I managed to make it.
So I fuck Indy up. I don't know if it's because I bottom out somewhere, but I end up rotating it in the middle of the corner, the right hander. Because I go in hotter into that, and something must bottom out somewhere or something.
Jay was having that exact problem early on in his driving as well.
Remember to practice your pit entry, make sure you've got
Yeah,
solid markers that you can hit consistently, because there's not a lot.
we might have to put up a night session tomorrow. Practice the track at night.
I think there's a fair bit of lights around the pit area, which is good.
I joined the session and I was terrible.
Oh, my tyre wear is higher than last time I did. Very even. I love this setup for tyre wear. I'm 75. I'm either 74 or 75% all round. Like within 1% on every single tyre.
I didn't even look. What have I got? 72, 75, 69, 67.
You've got much less even wear.
Yes.
But still, it's like it's well within.
But
Like
yeah,
in
but
these cooler conditions, tyres are a non-thing. Like you just use them.
those would have been slides. So there was a couple of
Yeah.
slides I had. So
I had one half spin, sort of, but it was very slow speed by the time I lost control.
and a full wheel slide.
Well, at least they're scrubbed evenly.
Exactly.
Just roll out of the pits and I'm not near anybody.
You should look at the track map. Look at your data.
I have one beer. You know, finding walls every morning.
Sometimes one is a slight improvement, and then 2 and 3 start to get bad.
I think it's because I drove home from work tonight.
Body's aching. And
No, it's rain again, so then you sort of have to focus a little bit more when you drive.
Soon we'll have that in the sim.
Dude, trademark pain.
So exciting.
It would be if
I
it
don't
was.
focus anymore.
God, imagine if this race had a chance of rain.
Oh god, there'd be death and carnage with everything. Can you imagine catching
A
up to
race
slow
car.
car?
Oh, but it'd be very interesting actually, wet in multi-class, because the wet line's like staying off the race line, right? So then
Yes.
you're catching the slower car and he drives the long way around the corner and you're like, well, I don't want to go on the inside because I'll die.
Pretty sure I saw that at Hungary when they were in the wet. In the F1, and they were taking some odd lines. And I was trying to dissect an incident. I was like, well, he was clearly, he got held up. I think it was someone got held up in quali. And it had something to do with him staying on the inside line. Which you think we got held, yes, but he got held up. So he wasn't deemed to be held up because the rain line was on the outside. Yeah, it was
That's
far.
Verstappen in quali.
The no name,
And
the corner
Hamilton
before no
was-
name.
Yeah. The reverse. Yeah. I remember, I actually distinctly remember that now that you mention it, because yeah, Max was on that lap and I think there was like a bit of a radio call, the commentators being like, oh, did you get held up? And thinking to myself, I'm like, no, Max was on the line that everybody had been taking all morning. He did not get held up. Hamilton went exactly where he needed to go to not hold Max up.
Yep, showed his experience.
And I remember thinking like I don't normally root for Hamilton, but I was like, if Hamilton got a penalty for that, it'd be bullshit.
Never be the first one. There's some bullshit calls.
that'll actually be a really hard thing if they simulate that. They're saying they're going to simulate it. If it's simulated in a way that actually results in that racing, where you've got to, stay off the racing line, take that long line, it's going to be really hard to sort of untrain your brain and go not the racing
Looking
line
for grip.
is faster. Yeah.
And I tide temps, like going and searching for puddles of water to keep tide temps down, like whether it does or doesn't. When weaving was a thing and everyone was weaving, and we're like, yeah, that doesn't actually warm the tyres. They haven't modelled that at the very, very, very start. But people just did it because they saw it on the telly. So whether or not it's coated or coated properly, you watch people looking for puddles to try and keep tire temp down. I'm sure they will model it, but looking forward to stuff like that.
Yeah. They'll attempt to model all this stuff. It's just how accurate it is. I'm sure it'll have issues to begin with.
Yeah, so the one thing I think in the saving grace for iracing is, who was it? I heard someone in the country saying that I was watching the 24-hour, was it Le Mans 24? Yeah, it was. And Davidson was talking about how, no, it was at Spa actually when he was commentating for the F1, and how he said that no matter what car he was driving in, he always was braking at the bus stop chicane at Spa in exactly the same place, because the cars are always different. I'm thinking, you and I had this conversation, Sean, about is that just something that they do to make easier, or is it just a real life thing? And it's a real life thing. So I think going back to do they have more racing lines having more grip and all that kind of stuff, maybe just because the sim is so close to real life, maybe it's just a byproduct.
Yeah, but I think
Like they don't actually have to model specifically.
Yeah, I guess it depends, because you say it just happens by product, but I think that's because it's modeled accurately. They have to model everything. It's just, do they have to model that specifically, or do they just model, they just have to model the properties of tires and the properties of wet bitumen, and if they do those two things, it should turn out that we have to take the outside line on corners.
Yeah, water reacts with tyre, with rubber build-up. So they've modelled rubber build-up, so if water reacts with rubber build-up, the grip will inverse.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the bigger thing will just be that they try and do it, and they'll probably do it as good as they can for a first attempt, but there will be quirks. There's always going to be some sort of thing where they go, oh yeah, there's these two seemingly independent systems actually interact, and it causes this weird thing where you can get more grip by doing this dumb thing.
Oh yeah, that'll be the
Gravel track, you end up getting more grip.
Yeah.
It simulates a grip on your tyre or something.
Yeah.
oh, one wheel on the grass.
Actually, a real life example, well, not a real life example, but a real example might be that you lose a certain amount of grip by gravel around. They've also got a certain amount of grip you lose going off on gravel, and maybe they don't. The amount of grip you lose on gravel is less than going on gravel, you've got more grip.
Yeah, if gravel just doesn't.
Gravel has, it's like modelling drag. Gravel's got drag, but not grip. If that makes sense. And I think they just seem to be modelling it as, and the same with grass as well. It's more of a drag thing than it is a grip thing.
What drag thing does grass do?
Provides drag, my complaint on grass is it doesn't slow you down, and gravel doesn't slow you down. But because it seems that they've modelled those surfaces with, in inverted commas, less grip, as opposed to, it's grip, it's almost like grip under deceleration, sideways.
It's a different type of, there's an additional force putting on you, which is what they haven't modelled. They've only modelled the car moving forward.
Which I've loosely described as drag. We've got mechanical tyre grip and you've got downforce, but you've also got drag counter grip. So it's not the same as grip. I guess that's better. All I'm saying, it's not grip. It's a different force, which I've crudely referred to as drag.
But it's hard for them as well, right? Because programming this stuff, they've got removable objects which are your walls. and then they have to go everything else that isn't immovable, right?
Oh, fuck, it's... I hit some drag then.
Trains can be the best.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, did what I did, but just a bit more.
Yeah.
You feel the tires literally bouncing up and down, and then the slide. Got 10 minutes of fuel remaining. I've got enough for 2 laps. So it's 3 laps. You know, 7 minutes.
Absolutely nailed Petro Rouge. I was nearly on the rev limiter in 5th.
The stint's too pushy at the start.
In these conditions, I quite like it pretty much right from the get-go.
No, I go in at the start like I do, sort of, you know, when you finish a stint, and you go in. You do it after a fresh set and a lot of fuel, and it just drags. It's a slow down every time.
You brake lock up around Mulsanne and half a second gone.
Oh yeah, or more.
You know, 6/10.
Oh, you fucking... Oh well.
Did you hit a wall?
No. I fucking lost the one I didn't lose it, I guess. Big slides. We had a 2-3. One more push lap. So, safe.
Do you have another one?
I don't think so. What have I got? I've got my in lap after this. This was my last
Yeah.
fly. I would have needed a couple of laps to just ease back into the push lap. I've forgotten how to do push lap. So I just got on it and slid the rear.
I just find in that turn 2-3 chicane, I can't push. There's no difference between my like chill lap and my push lap in that corner, because as soon as I try to go any faster, the car just slides. It feels slippery the entire way through the stint, whereas the other corners get grippier, they get faster.
It's a tough one. It's all angles and bouncing. You got to get a good bounce almost. A favourable bounce. Keep it tight without throwing the car up into the air on the left.
That's, when I spun behind you, it's because I was trying to just close that gap to you. I just wanted, that extra half a tenth or whatever in that chicane, and around I went. Just a tiny bit extra speed.
We're coasting over the bumps. I'll go into it, lift for the bumps, get back on it, lift for the next one. But if there's any sort of sideways motion while I skip the bouncing across, it's gone. Cost. Had to live for the Tetris Ridge.
Always live there.
No, like I guess a double lift to. I did the lift and then punched it, and then just a slight little lift to make sure I didn't dribble over the dribble strip that gets the slow down. Didn't get a slow down, but lost the 10th bit.
session just finished. We've done a couple of stints already.
So we got Marcus and Jacob back in. Just Marcus.
I don't think they were ever out. I just sort of... It seemed like they were, so I thought I'd try and figure out a schedule that would work if they didn't. But it seems like they are still in, at least just for a few stints, which I think is good. Helps reduce a little bit of driving. Gets them involved, if they want to be involved. For science, I just did a full deploy lap. And from 100% charge at the start, I was down to 50 at the end. So I guess on full deploy, you get two full laps from a full charge.
Cheaty McCheaty.
It was early in my stint, so it wasn't going to be a fastest lap.
Alright. Alright.
I did a stint today. So two behind.
Yeah. Definitely on the heaps on the table. I fucked the Porsche curbs up. What was your optimal on the intro?
3 minutes 21.000.
Oh, so you actually hit your opt.
Oh,
Yeah,
you beat me. You
Yeah.
shit.
Hit a 21.
Bastard.
Right here.
It's a good session. Very quick.
Yeah.
The optimal was at 20.6. I gave a stack back
I had...
at the
I
end.
think I had 2 significant mistakes in my lap that would have cost me a few tenths, so I think I'd probably be similar to you.
So you guys done? We are.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I hit 8.
Like I said, I've done a stint today, so kind of half tempted just to go and do a few laps there.
Yeah, so if this thing's oh shit, someone else on the track. Sorry, Dennis.
You surprised me as much as I surprised you.
Oh dear.
I looked up and there's a yellow car in the middle of the track. I was all like, holy shit, so I was busy looking at my standings.
You know, I'm just trundling down with no fuel.
Right in the middle of the road.
Yeah, right in the middle of the road, 100%. Where else would I be trundling down on?
In his defense, he wasn't on the racing line, but yeah, it was pretty error.
that wasn't through planning though. It's not like I thought about it. That was just pure luck.
So you're...
Ironically, I managed to get my entire stint in because this is actually my proper inlet.
Ah, nice.
Well, 7.4 seems to be a push lap, and 7.2 seems to be a save lap. So if that's enough,
In fuel-wise?
yeah, seems to be
Yeah.
enough.
If,
I think
if
I
you
was-
can get a push lap to just be 7.38, I think that'd be golden. Right?
I think that's cutting it close.
I was at a cooler session today, but I think maybe lower track deck, and I struggled to get my saving on the normal saving I was doing. I had to do a bit more saving at the end to get the 12 laps, so it's quite different depending on the session.
Yeah, this seemed to be. I needed to do more this session than a previous session.
Yeah.
Not that I
I
was
think you were doing-
really trying.
Too much worry. Like 7.2 is well below. Like you can use more than that.
Yeah, this thing, I don't know. I'm not completely trusting of the data on the wheel just yet. I'll go in and have a look at it.
How many
Drive says.
how many laps of saving are you doing? You're not saving.
Yeah, every lap.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Okay,
think you
like-
saved too much.
I can do some heavy saving first 3 laps, and I'm fine.
But your numbers line up work. Like I get about 7.4 on a push lap and 7.2 on a save lap. Like that's...
Yeah.
I think your numbers are accurate, whatever your wheel thing is telling you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
It's only
I'm-
one digit though.
Okay.
I'd like that.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely
2
getting
digits.
7.4 on a push lap.
I think my fastest lap, which was my biggest push lap, was 7.38, but that's also at the end of the stint when fuel usage is lowest. So, like, I think if I tried to do a push lap early on, it would be probably just over 7.4. But yeah, it doesn't take much to save, like, 7.3. Like, I think that's just, like, 2 lift and coasts on the back straight, or maybe 3. Maybe if you just do it on the 2 chicanes and the final hairpin, should be enough.
I'm worried about getting rear-ended.
Or doing like JB said, a few laps where you're saving. Yeah, put them in front, save behind them, lift and coast in their draft.
Okay, some solid I rating in this one. 5353 4943 342.
So your outright speed looks good, Dennis, but if I found when you were behind me, you just sort of falling back, like there's a consistency.
Yeah. I don't know about our ride speed either. I mean, that lap I put in for my best lap, that's as fast as I can go. It was maybe a couple of tenths more in my optimal.
Yeah, the second around here is not a huge deficit.
It feels like it.
It's about twice as long as a normal track, so it's like half a second at any other track.
So there was an update overnight, so that explains why I saw notifications in the beta UI appearing at the top of the window instead of the bottom. Why?
Because the UI team has to have something to do.
Performance and logging improvements. What do you reckon they're logging?
Today, just usage metrics. I don't know why they need to include that in the release notes. I guess maybe it's one of those rules things where they're like, well, we've started collecting the number of people that click this button, and technically we have to let them know that we're doing that.
My fuel usage looks a bit higher than my wheel suggests.
Like Garage 61.
Yeah, it's like it's not rounding properly. Like my last lap, which told me 7.4, was actually 7.49.
So it's just dropping the digits, it's not rounding.
It's what it potentially could be. So I could be doing it. When I get a 7.2, it could be a 2.1, it could be a 2.5, or it could be a 2.9. Could explain why I'm struggling.
There's a request, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like I'd be willing to put money on like whatever it's using to just like at some point it's got the full number with the extra digits and it is literally just cutting them off.
And what's worse is there's fucking heaps of room. It's not like it's a room issue. It's heaps of room for it.
But Sean, this annoys me. I've done plenty of coding. If you're coding something, go to the most decimal places, right? You don't ever truncate
It's right.
calculation.
Nobody ever.
Not for a calculation, but for a display you absolutely do, because you don't want to display like 6 decimal places for like how much fuel you use.
Yeah, but you're
rounding.
Right, you're round. But I would be willing to bet that this isn't like a thing where it's like somebody hasn't written code to explicitly round to a decimal place. It's just been sent to a display thing, and at some point a rendering thing has just said, I've got room for 2 characters, and that's all I'm going to render.
Probably, yeah.
And so I don't, like, that would be my suspicion based on...
Yeah, it might even be trying to render that third character, but you just don't see it.
Yeah, like, that extra decimal place might be making it all the way to the wheel, and it might be like the display firmware on the wheel that just says, I can't render that, so I'm just going to render these 2 characters. And
Like
like,
giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's clearly because they suck.
well, basically at some
Well,
point
you,
there's
you
been
spend money with them.
they seem to be
Oh,
fairly
actually.
rapidly developing as well. Like, I guess they're a younger company, and so they're not just resting. That's the feeling I get. Anyway.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot
So
to do that.
you didn't? Did you update the actual spreadsheet, or did you create a copy of the
Copy.
spreadsheet?
Yeah, copy.
I made a
mine.
copy too.
I
I wasn't
don't
going to
know.
mess around with the actual one.
Yes, likewise, what Sean said.
Okay, so are we happy with that schedule then?
Works one? Yep, I'm happy with it. If everyone else is.
Jay, you happy with the 3:39 a.m. start?
No, I want to do 3:40. Is that okay?
I tell you
know
what,
how hard that is to do.
you create it, and we'll then pass judgment on it.
It just means that you have to eke out a minute out of your stint, Warwick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll give that. Yeah,
Can you make another lap?
I'll spin. I'll just spin. That'll give me 60 seconds.
Yeah, maybe not.
And get repairs.
Yeah,
For a minute.
exactly. That's right. Scrape the wall and in. Oh, I didn't do a pin entry tonight. Shit.
Sorry, you got it tomorrow.
I've got to figure out which column though is the true. Do we have an in-game time of day? Because I looked at it. My brain
Midday. Was the race
JRT does, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, what you
Hang
said,
on, what are you
Sean.
after?
What Sean
Like
said.
the start of the race.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
sim.
7 a.m. for session start. So 7:43 a.m. sim time.
Oh, is it? What?
No, it's like midday.
Sorry, that's the GMT. The local time is 12 p.m.
Oh, okay.
But-
And
Okay.
then the
I'm
race
sure that's
technically,
Yeah, I think I was about
the
to say
race
what you
will
were going to say.
technically starts at 43 past.
Yes, roughly.
Yeah. I think that just tells me which column I need to be focused on
Yeah.
because there's way too many columns with a time in it.
But the highlighted columns on the right are your actual time that you need to be at the computer.
Yeah, that's fine. What I really need to do is see what time of day. Like I haven't done
Alright.
any nighttime stuff yet, so
Oh yeah.
that's something that I need to think about.
Well, the
Yeah, I
good news
haven't
is that
either.
you're picking up your first stint at 6:26 p.m. So
I'm going to be in the night
you're
time.
driving into it. So
Fucking
I'm
hell.
the first one.
I think the
No, no.
sunset will be much later than that.
Maybe about
10,
10. Yeah,
10
by
o'clock.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my 3:30 or 3:39 say, is that going to be in the dark or day?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Let me update it on the real one. I'll let you know.
All right. Sunset on Le Mans is 9 p.m. and sunrise is 7 a.m. All right.
I've made that many copies of that. I now don't know which copy is the right copy. I've got
This is
copy,
updated.
That's all right. Yeah.
copy of schedule, copy of schedule, copy of schedule 1, and the
The one
schedule.
that says 2023 Le Mans 24-hour without the word copy in it.
I know. No, I actually just copied the tabs down the bottom. As in, I took a copy of the sheet first, and then on my sheet, I then created copies of the tabs,
Oh.
just so you don't panic.
Your second stint work will be pretty much right as it'll start just after sunset.
Okay, so I've got
And then by the time you get back in the car, it'll be light.
So my first stint will be dark.
Yeah, you'll be well into the darkness, JB.
so 7 a.m. sunrise.
Most of your
9
driving
hour.
will be at night, JB.
Oh, that's awesome.
Your
Yeah,
final
I-
stint will be during the day.
9
I
hour.
mean, those 3 laps at the end.
Yes.
No, you've got a double stint towards the end of the race.
All right.
You can have another
I'm
one.
going to get one stint in the day.
Oh, tear it up. Start again.
Okay, I've done something wrong. Hang on. How many stints have you got in your spreadsheet?
Whatever. I don't know.
That many.
That better, yeah. Do you get the things at the bottom that say you shouldn't be doing this?
Yeah, yeah,
And depends what the lap times and stuff are set to.
Yeah, but there's like it's like 3 or 4 cells.
yeah. There's
beyond
an
it.
editing thing, and the reason for it is because originally the spreadsheet didn't have a supported for 45-minute stints. The
Yeah.
LMP2 was the first one that did that.
I broke it.
So
Nice.
it's
Something's off, Dennis, because I'm meant to have 3 double stints. It goes
Yeah,
J, me, then you.
Maybe I can't find which one of mine it is. Orange, pink, red. Orange, pink, red.
Hang on. Yeah, no, this looks right. Does it? No, I'm not so sure. There's definitely a stint out between these two, but I think it's fine. Then it'd just be 2 of yours at the end. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
so Marcus gets 2 stints, Jacob gets 4.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the amount of times I think.
Well, these are all doubles, so you could refer to a double as a single unless we're going to change it.
Okay, so a double for Marcus, 2 for Jacob, 3 for Jay, 3 for Warwick, 4 for Sean, 4 for me.
And initially I was at planning to do 8. Was it 8, 8, 4, 8, 8, 8, 8, 4, 4, 4, 4, but it didn't add up. So I thought they were 45 minutes, but they're actually 40.
I think they're about 42.
Yeah.
I agree with Dennis.
I was rounding because in my really basic simple spreadsheet that I was.
You were looking at the times on your wheel. Just cut that last number
Yeah.
off.
The reason why I know that is if I,
Whoa. What
yeah,
just
so
happened?
when you I just expanded the hidden tabs, and that's how I know how long
Ah.
I have now.
I don't even know. Yeah, cool. The duration. Actually
He
says
hides the
it.
columns, yeah.
Yeah. That duration one would actually be useful as a non-hidden column. I guess you don't need
Yeah,
it
I
on
know.
every row, but like, I feel like it doesn't even. The overview tab should somewhere have like.
Yeah, in the roster I added a column. The reason why I found it was I put a time in C.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work, but I think it has actually this time around. Okay, it has worked.
Yeah, looks right. I also checked when I saw Marcus's single double, and that meets the minimum requirements.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Didn't even think about that.
That was my first thought, but I remember it being very low, so I quickly Googled it, and it's a quarter of an equal share, which puts it at roughly 1.5 fuel stints. So
Yeah, so the only risk there is if he does have an accident, he just has to complete that stint.
Yeah. Yeah, if something goes wrong and he only does like one of them, he'll have to get back in the car.
Cool. So, interestingly enough, I'm now not sure about the lap times that I've got in the time of day lap factors, given what we
No.
just did.
Such wide variety, but even the
Yeah.
we've had in the last 2 nights have been wildly different. Like 20, what are we in today? 22, almost 22, low 23 today.
Well, I think my average stint was more like I was in the 23s, I think, for the majority of that
Yeah.
stint.
So so I'm looking at Garage 61. My average was 325.3. And
I overstated fuel in that last bit, so I can help push that to beat.
so I can even beat what I've already put down in the time of day factors. So, what was your guys' Garage 61 telling you for the average time across your stint?
Let me just find it. This for me.
324.
Okay.
I Because I rolled out of the pits and did a really slow lap waiting for Warwick. Mine's not right.
Yeah, mine's got spin.
That's annoying. I wish you could like highlight certain laps and say, "Tell me what's the average of these laps." Yeah.
Even if it was just the average clean lap. Mine was, yeah, so my spin's not counted. Okay, that's good.
No. Like averaging clean laps is good, but you can still get like unrepresentative
Yeah, oh, for sure.
clean laps.
My second stint, when I was doing the lifting to try and save to get back into the, I did 707.
I'm just gonna eyeball it and say my average was probably in the 23s. What was yours, Warwick?
24.2.
Yeah.
So if I make it flat 24 as the average,
Yeah. Well, we've also got to consider traffic. We're going to be losing time in traffic.
so you want me to
Probably
add a
every lap.
second for that?
Does it tell you which ones are not clean? I thought it had a little
Off
Yeah,
track.
it
Yeah, it
is.
says off track
Yeah.
next to it.
Next to the lap time in an orange box.
okay then it's broken. Because I've got a 333, 331.
Oh, so off track. Well, a slowdown is different from an off track. Remember?
I'm using a live session. I don't know if it updates a bit better once the session stops.
Now mine's still saying live. Well, I looked at mine when I was still in the session. So
But yes, Dennis, I think 1 second. Maybe it's conservative, but I remember really suffering not accounting for that one. Well, I guess not suffering. It's just it throws things out eventually, especially towards the end of the race.
yep. So the other thing that I didn't tell you from Spa last time, Sean, is that start time is absolutely critical when that flag falls. So whenever we start, one of us has to remember to update when that actually happened, because
Yeah.
it throws out your final stint. Like we almost screwed up that final stint because I had it too conservative. But yeah. Okay, I've updated that. We have, yes,